What is up, guys? Eric here from Real Film Reviews, bringing you another movie review, this time for the new Will Ferrell film, The House. The House stars Will Ferrell, Amy Poehler, Jason Mantzoukas, and Nick Kroll. It tells the story of two parents who, after their child is accepted into a phenomenal college, they realize that they don't have the money to pay for it. So after they lose a scholarship, they are forced to start an underground casino within their friend's house. And obviously a bunch of funny, crazy stuff happens, because this is a rated R comedy about a casino. If you couldn't tell from my sarcasm right there, this movie isn't great. It really relied heavily on having two extremely well-known lead roles that do have really great chemistry. Amy Poehler and Will Ferrell kill it in this movie as the relationship between the two of them, and even the family relationship that's built between them and their daughter in the film. They all do a really good job, and the script actually does a pretty good job of building them as like a family unit and us caring about the outcome of this situation. And the idea of building an underground casino to pay for your kid's college is funny. It's a clever plot, and the way that they built it with the loss of a scholarship and all of this stuff makes it that much more interesting and believable that they would come to that point. So it's still a little ridiculous, but it's at least fun, and you would think with this clever plot and these two stars in your lead role that you could probably put together a script that would still be pretty good. However, this movie is exactly 90 minutes long, and it does not have anywhere near enough time to make this story funny. It feels rushed at every single minute. There are definitely moments in this movie that could have been absolutely hilarious if they invested more time in them, but they just don't. They just keep rushing everything forward more and more and more to fit it all into this really tiny amount of time. And yes, I'd be lying if I said that this movie didn't have any funny scenes at all, because it did have some. This movie wasn't a total, like, snoring, terrible comedy. There was some comedic value to it, but just nowhere near as much as there could have been. It invests in side plots and characters that don't get enough screen time to really dictate it, because with only having 90 minutes, you really need to invest all of that time into your two main characters and what they're doing. But instead, we have to waste some of it on other side characters that play important roles in the plot, but their characters themselves aren't that visible. So it doesn't really make sense to waste all the screen time. We know why they're there and we know what they're doing. They don't really need to keep getting built up. Like, it's good. Like, they're at the point they need to be at. The movie just really wasn't all that memorable. Yes, there were certain moments that I did laugh kind of hard at. There was really just one moment that I'd say I laughed hard at, but everything else was just kind of meh. And it's sad to say, because some of the sequences were really clever and could have been turned into something that was really funny. For example, and I'm only using this one because it's in every trailer for this movie, when they come home and they're super drunk and they run into their daughter and her friends. That sequence in the movie is built up like it's going to be hilarious and memorable, and it's over in like 30 seconds. Like, it's over so fast. And that sequence in the movie, you get even more backstory of it, and it could have been so funny if they would have invested more time into it. But instead, they have them come in the house, they have their little encounter, and then there's one weak joke, and then it's over. That's the end. That's the end of that whole sequence. And that sequence could have been built into, you know, like a 2 or 3 minute long scene that was really funny and had a bunch of funny interactions between the daughter and her friends and her parents, who throughout the whole rest of the film have never come off that way to her children or her children's friends. They're not like, oh, we get drunk and party. So it would have been really funny to have that interaction last longer and get some really big laughs out of the audience, but instead you waste it on one weak joke. I'm gonna give The House a D+. This really is just a bland rated R comedy, and I think with this and Girls Night Out, which I did see, I didn't do a review for it because I saw it late, I think that we're slowly starting to realize that all rated R movies aren't gonna be funny. I think that there are great PG-13 comedies that have happened in the past, and I think that they've gone away because so many people just want that rated R rating. And don't get me wrong, I love rated R movies, but I think that you need to invest more in having a good script and less on just being like, let's make make it rated R and then make it funny. Because sometimes you can have a phenomenal PG-13 comedy. Look at Talladega Nights, look at Blades of Glory. Those are both Will Ferrell films that are absolutely amazing, and they're not rated R. So I really think that with all of this, we're kind of maybe getting to the threshold where it's like, hey, maybe we need to start making PG-13 comedies again and focus on having great scripts and less on just having a rated R comedy. I don't really recommend this movie to anybody. If you're going to the theater this weekend, I recommend Baby Driver. That's obviously my #1 recommendation if you're going to the theater. Well, guys, as always, I'm Eric. If you enjoyed this review, please do like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of The House, share everything we do here on Real Film Reviews, and I hope to see you guys later.